So what if you could tackle two of society's biggest problems? I'm talking about the housing crisis and the mental health epidemic with just one single, really radical idea. Well, we're about to dive into a research proposal that claims it can do exactly that. Welcome to the blueprint for what's called Alam Happy Town.
You know, it all boils down to this one central question. Can you actually build happiness? I mean, can you design it, engineer it, and construct it, just like you would a bridge or a skyscraper? The entire project is basically a bold, real-world experiment to find out if that's even possible.
Okay, so let's get into the problem here. First up, housing. In Canada, it's projected that by 2030, the country will be short 3.5 million homes. That is a staggering number. That's what's needed just to bring affordability back to a normal level for the average person.
And at the very same time, another crisis is brewing. A massive 40% of Canadian university students say they feel depressed. And a lot of that comes from financial stress and just a profound sense of being alone. And here's the thing. These two problems are way more connected than you might think.
So you've got these two massive crises happening at the same time, really tearing at the fabric of society. But what if they're not separate issues at all? The Alam Happy Town proposal makes a bold claim that they're actually two symptoms of the same problem, and you need a totally new kind of solution to fix them both.
So who is the person with this vision? This is Dr. Syed Aftab Alam. And for him, this is not just some academic exercise or a paper he's writing. No, this is a personal mission, and it's one that's inspired by his own family's incredible history.
His entire motivation is fueled by the story of his grandfather. This man sold almost 200 acres of land, not to get rich, but to give it away to people who needed it. And from that one powerful act of generosity, 3 entire villages were born. That core idea that you can build a community through the act of giving, that's the foundation for this whole thing.
So you've got this powerful inspiration. How do you turn that into a real-world solution for today's problems? Okay, let's get into the nuts and bolts of what this happy town would actually look like on the ground.
The plan really focuses on two things: speed and efficiency. We're talking about 40 prefabricated A-frame houses built on just 3 acres of land provided by a university, with a community center right in the middle. But get this, the most amazing part is that the whole community could be built and ready for families to move into in just 4 to 6 months.
But the houses are just the beginning. This is where the project gets really, truly radical. See, it's more than just a housing development. It's a living laboratory for a new way of life, and it all kicks off with a rule about money that challenges pretty much everything we're taught about how to handle our finances.
It's called the daily finance distribution, but let's just call it the 30% rule. And it's simple but powerful. Every single day, each family figures out their net surplus, what's left after their basic costs are covered. And they have to give 30% of that surplus to their neighbors. And it has to happen before the sun goes down. No hoarding it, no saving it for a rainy day, just a constant, active circulation of wealth.
So what would that look like in real life? Well, let's run the numbers. If you have a mix of low-income, average, and high-earning households, this model shows that the community could be circulating almost $4,000 every single day. That adds up to over $119,000 a month flowing right back into this tiny local community, creating its own powerful microeconomy.
But the point here isn't just about the money. The theory is that this mandatory daily act of giving would ripple out and have huge benefits in every single part of life. It's designed to literally rewire our brains, to boost mental health by slashing financial anxiety, to build incredibly deep social trust, and to create a place where people are constantly and actively looking out for each other. And if you thought that was a radical idea, it doesn't stop with the money. The project also lays out a complete redesign of our education system, rebuilding the entire life cycle of learning right from the very beginning.
This is the Alam Educational Framework, and it completely flips the script on the timeline of learning. It starts with homeschooling to build a foundation of trust. Then it moves into moral and STEM education. But here's the real game changer. Between ages 13 and 15, the focus is all on practical skills and internships to create what's called an earning hand. The whole point is to achieve financial independence before you even think about higher education. And the end goal is ambitious, to have students earning a PhD by age 20, totally debt-free and already contributing members of society.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds a bit like a utopian dream, right?
But it's actually designed as a very serious academic research project with clear, scientific, measurable goals. Let's look at the exact questions this experiment wants to answer. First, and maybe most importantly, is well-being. Can this system produce a real, statistically significant 15% increase in happiness measured on a scientific scale in just the first 12 months? Next, the economic question. Can this daily giving model really generate over $300,000 in local economic activity every month from just 40 families? If they can prove that, it would show a powerful, self-sustaining economic engine. And what about the social fabric of the community? Could this system of intense, daily interdependence actually cut crime rates in half compared to the surrounding city? The idea is that when you're that deeply connected to your neighbors, that becomes the best security system you could ever ask for. So you see, the ultimate goal isn't just to build one small, happy town. It's to prove that a new model is possible. A model that could then be copied all over the world, shifting the entire paradigm of how we build our communities.
And this really is a fundamental shift in values. Instead of measuring success with things like GDP, the focus is on happiness. Instead of slow, expensive construction, the goal is rapid, affordable housing. And maybe most importantly, it's a move away from a culture of accumulating individual wealth to a culture where wealth is always flowing, always circulating through the community.
In the end, it really does all come back to that initial spark of inspiration. As Dr. Allen puts it, my grandfather's 200 acres became 3 villages. This research will create a global movement. It's a vision that powerfully connects one family's past to a potential future for all of us.
And that leaves us with the ultimate question. Is this whole thing just a utopian fantasy, a beautiful idea that ignores the messiness of human nature, or could this be a practical, data-driven blueprint for a genuinely better future? This experiment is designed to find out, and honestly, the answer could change everything.